Hello, my name's John. This is a video about me experimenting with AI, and you're watching Wargames Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to talk about an experiment that I did with AI, so something slightly different than normal. Now, this Space Marine I painted quite a while ago, and the only information that I've created for this chapter is in this tweet that I posted when I painted him. And recently I wanted to experiment with AI. Working in the creative industries, I find it both worrying and interesting, the prospects of AI and what it can do. It's not something that I'm going to fully discuss in this video. I just want to show you the potential of what it has done. Key worries that I do have, though, are the use of AI when it would be detrimental to creative workers, where it will be used instead of them and that kind of thing. It's a tricky situation. It's something that I might explore in a later video if I carry on with this experiment. But for now, let's have a look at what I tried to do. So, from the tweet, I fed that into an AI program. That was all the information that it got from me, plus whatever information is already in the system. It went through a few responses. So after the first response to the tweet, I then asked it to regenerate the previous response, but replace Thunderhammer with Chainsword, which it then replaced a little bit of detail it already had in there, which it had created. Then I wanted to add, because I'd created this character that I haven't painted yet, I wanted to it to add to the previous response how Sergeant Tenshire, this character just here, found a squad of survivors of the 9th Company, including a company master, during the final battle. It then created another response. This was a shorter response, which was just a new ending to the previous one. So I then asked it to combine the previous two responses, which it did. And then after it had created the fourth response, I asked it to keep the previous response the same, but replace winning the event with escaping the system. So it then created another ending for this process. And I asked it to combine again the two previous responses, and it came up with the final response, which I'm going to read for you in a minute. The one key thing, I gave it just the information that I've talked about. It had previous information in the system anyway, I presume. There are details in this that aren't right for Warhammer 40,000 lore, but there is potential of me adjusting and changing things and so on. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm really not sure on AI, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. There are kind of positives, but there are a lot of negatives as well. So it's something that we're going to have to kind of, as society in general, just be careful of and be mindful of. But I'm going to read this response that it's created for these characters. And we'll see what you think. Sergeant Oaken Tenshire, a battle-hardened veteran of the Space Marine chapter Knights Topaz, stood tall among the ruins of the Landfall massacre in the Oubliette system. His chapter had been all but decimated by the relentless Necron horde, their once mighty forces reduced to a mere 47 surviving warriors. The Landfall massacre had been a devastating event, where the Knights Topaz had attempted to establish a foothold on the remote planet. But the Necrons, ancient mechanical beings of unfathomable power, had emerged from their slumber and overwhelmed the Space Marines with sheer numbers and advanced weaponry. It was a slaughter, with the Knights Topaz paying a heavy price for their audacity. Yet amidst the desolation and despair, Sergeant Tenshire's dominable spirit burnt brightly. He had lost brothers, comrades and friends, but he refused to let their sacrifice be in vain. With a determination that could shatter mountains, he rallied the surviving Space Marines, vowing to take revenge on the Necrons and honour the fallen. The 47 Space Marines, battle-scarred and weary, formed a tight-knit formation around their resolute sergeant. Tenshire's voice boomed over the communication channels, his unwavering resolve instilling courage in his brothers. He devised a strategy that exploited the Necrons' weakness, their lack of flexibility and individuality. They struck swiftly, using guerrilla tactics and hit-and-run manoeuvres. Tenshire led his warriors through treacherous terrain, ambushed Necron patrols, and systematically dismantling the enemy's forces. Every victory fueled their determination, as they knew that with each defeated foe they avenged a fallen comrade. As the campaign wore on, Tenshire's tactical brilliance became legendary among his men. His leadership and unwavering resolve inspired the Knights Topaz to fight with renewed vigour. Regardless of their diminishing numbers, they became a force to be reckoned with, a beacon of hope in the face of certain annihilation. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. Sergeant Tenshire and his 47 remaining Space Marines faced the Necron horde head-on. It was a battle of epic proportions, where the fate of the oubliette system hung in the balance. The Necrons, once confident with their superiority, now found themselves facing an enemy that refused to yield. In the midst of chaos, an unexpected twist of fate revealed itself. Through the haze of war, Sergeant Tenshire's eyes caught a sight of a familiar symbol, the heraldry of the Ninth Company, their revered brethren from the Knights Topaz. A surge of hope pulsed through the surviving Space Marines as they realised that a squad of 9th Company survivors had joined the fight, led by none other than the esteemed Company Master, Lord Arcturus. With Lord Arcturus and his battle-hardened survivors at their side, Tenshire and his brothers felt renewed sense of purpose. The combined strength of the Knights Topaz swelled, bolstered by the strategic acumen of Arcturus and the tactical brilliance of Tenshire. Together they forged a formidable alliance, vowing to bring an end to the Necron menace once and for all. Under the joint command of Tenshire and Arcturus, the Space Marines devised an even more formidable battle plan, exploiting the Necrons' weakness and leveraged their newfound unity. They struck at the heart of the enemy. The battle that followed was waged with unmatched ferocity and determination, each swing of a chainsword and roar of bolter echoing the defiance of the Knights Topaz. Through blood, sweat and sacrifice, the combined might of the Knight Topaz and the survivors of the 9th Company pushed back the Necron horde, inch by hard-won inch. The battle was long and gruelling, testing the limits of their strength and endurance. But with each fallen Necron and each brother avenged, their determination only grew stronger. Finally, the day came when the Necron horde broke. The surviving Space Marines fought their way through the disarrayed enemy lines, seizing a precious opportunity. With their path to escape open, Sergeant Tenshire and his brothers made a strategic decision to retreat and regroup to fight another day. Amidst the chaos and destruction, Tenshire and Arcturus rallied their forces, ensuring that every surviving Space Marine made it on board their waiting dropships. As the last vessels lifted off, the oubliette system faded from view, the Necron threat left behind but not forgotten. On board the ship, the wearied but resolute warriors took stock of their losses and celebrated their hard-fought survival. They knew the battle was not over, that the Necrons would still pose a threat to other worlds and civilizations, but they also carried with them a renewed sense of hope, a flame that burned brighter than ever before. Sergeant Tenshire, Lord Arcturus, and the combined forces of the Knights Topaz and the 9th Company knew that their mission was not yet complete. They would regroup, rebuild and strategize their next move. The Landfall Massacre would forever serve as a grim reminder of their past, but it would also be a catalyst for their future triumphs. As the surviving Space Marines of the Knights Topaz embarked on their next chapter, they carried with them the memory of their fallen comrades and the indomitable will to face whatever awaited them in the darkness of the galaxy. They were warriors, forged in the crucible of battle, united by their purpose, and bound by the unbreakable bond of brotherhood. So that was written by the AI. It named it Lost Knight's Rise. It doesn't have all of the kind of right details for lore and things like that, but with some editing it could work, and also seeing what it, by refeeding in the responses to see what it would come up with, was quite interesting. Like I said, it's a worrying subject, AI in the creative industries and all over the place. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on it in the comments if you'd like to make a comment. I might experiment with this a little bit more, I might not, I'm not sure. I'd like to hear what you think. Should I carry on with this experiment and see what the Knights Topaz become and create their background lore and everything just with AI, or use AI as a stepping stone to then continue the process of creating this chapter? But yeah, for now that's it. I hope you found this video interesting. Please like and subscribe. My name's John, and you've been watching Wargames, Models and Other Hobbies.